The session is being recorded, so it will be available for you early next week. So if you have if you know anybody who's missing the session or is not able to make it today, please ask them to view the recording afterwards on our website. So my name is Sophia Kapchinsky. I have a PhD in biology from McGill University, and I will be hosting the session. I am a manager of the data science team in the Cancer Digital Intelligence program with UHN. And my co-host is Matea Welsh, who has a PhD from Princess Margaret in medical biophysics with a focus in machine learning. And she's also working with the Cancer Digital Intelligence program as a machine learning engineer and a scientific associate. So enough about us. I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about you and who we have joining today during the session. We have about 40% are doctoral students and about 40% are postdoctoral fellows, which is great because the award is really meant for you guys. It's meant for PhD students and postdoctoral fellows. We also have a few master students, PIs, clinical fellows, scientific associates, and we welcome you to the session. If you have any questions, we were happy to answer anything that comes up for you, and you're welcome to share this recording as well with your PhD students and your postdoctoral fellows. So today on the agenda, we're going to cover the award, give you an overview of the award, go through the program structure. So how will the trainees be supported by the Spark Award? We'll go through the application process and answer any questions you have about how to apply for the award. We'll cover the important dates, and we'll also go through a Q&A at the end. And again, I'll encourage you to save your questions to the end and to turn off your camera and mute yourself before the session. That's great. So the award this is a new award. This is the first year that we're running the award. And the goal of the Spark Award is to support basic science research trainees. The goal that we want to achieve is that we really want to help our trainees to leverage data science and machine learning expertise to uncover trends in the data that they might not be seeing right now. So we really want to provide training and mentorship within data science and machine learning, as well as a few other fields. We are providing $20,000 in funding towards a yearly salary of the trainees, providing mentorship and training, as well as building a community across the trainees that we will be accepting into the program and the labs that they're coming from, because quite a few of the training sessions that we will organize are open both to the trainee themselves as well as their labs. So any master student, PhD, postdocs that are in the lab can attend. We're looking to select 4 trainees for the first year of the program, and we'll see if we are able to take on more in future years. To be eligible for the award, we're looking for second and third year PhD students or postdoctoral fellows. So if you're a first year PhD student or a master student, we encourage you to wait until you are in your second year PhD to apply for the award. We're really accepting just second and third year students and postdoctoral fellows. We require that you have some experience in data manipulation and computer science, and we will get into a bit more detail about what that means at the end of that session and how you can describe your experience in computer science. We're looking for trainees in basic research. So this means preclinical research. If you're not sure what basic research means, I would phrase it in a way, would you apply for an NSERC grant or a CIHR grant? And we're looking for people who would be applying for the NSERC grant, so the preclinical basic research trainees. And we're looking for projects in cancer research. So it's quite broad. If your project addresses any area of cancer research, you are eligible to apply. And your supervisor needs to have a UHN or Princess Margaret appointment. So the trainee support that we're going to provide, there's a few things that we're hoping to do. One are educational webinars. The educational webinars, the topics will be determined by the trainees themselves. So the 4 trainees that will be accepted into the program will submit 2 to 3 topics each that they need to level up on. And depending on the topics that we receive, we will find experts and specialists in those areas to present and to train our trainees in those specific topics. In order to help build a community and also to level up across our trainees, we will be doing presentation by the trainees themselves. We will also have presentation by specific specialists and one-on-one coaching with our specialists. The coaching is actually a very special part that we've introduced with the Spark Award. So trainees will have either 30-minute opportunities for 30 minutes, so quick one-on-ones with specialists to go through problems that they might be facing, questions that they have, any milestones that they want to discuss, or they have the option to do a deep dive of an hour to 2 hours with a specialist. And we have a number of specialists on staff in the Cancer Digital Intelligence Program. We have machine learning experts, we have data scientists, software developers, we have experts in data governance and data accessibility. We can help you navigate UHN digital, including privacy and security. We also have experts in service design and project management. And so as a trainee, if you're accepted into the program, you can choose to work with a single specialist or you can work with multiple specialists. So it's up to you to choose if you want to learn with a machine learning expert and someone who specializes in data governance and somebody else, or you just want to stick to one specialist the entire time. It's really up to you, but you're not committed to any one area of expertise. You're not locked in. You can really choose how to apply. So the application process is quite straightforward. There's just 2 steps. Step 1 is the registration and step 2 is the full application. You need to submit both in PDF in a single email to the pmcdi@uhn.ca email. So the registration form is very straightforward. We'll go through the details in just a second, and it allows us to gauge how many applicants we have and what are the areas of research that the applicants are looking at, which will allow us to put together an expert panel of judges for the full application. So in order to be able to evaluate the full applications from all the applicants, we really need you to register to know what kind of experts to bring in order to evaluate the applications that are going to come in. So it's a 2-step process. You register and then you're able to do the full application. The registration piece for the award is very straightforward. There's 3 parts. The first is the applicant information. So it's your name, your email address, what year of the program are you in, and a short blurb about your experience in computer science or data manipulation. The second part is about your supervisor. So what is their name and what is their affiliation? And the third part is we need to know the title of your project as well as have an abstract of your project, which will allow us to select experts for evaluating the full applications. And we also want to know about your REB. Do you have an REB already for your project? If not, what is the timeline of you receiving the REB, or if you don't need one altogether? So this is the registration. And the full application has 3 parts. The first part is the same part as the registration form. And we encourage you and welcome you to literally copy and paste from the registration form to the full application, the same information. If you need to make any changes, that's completely fine. Just indicate it in the notes. What sections have you changed, or how has the section changed for you? The second section, section B, is a deep dive into your project. So we will ask you for key terms. You have up to 10 key terms to tell us, to describe the area of your work. We will ask you to outline your project goals and to give us a clear hypothesis. So what is the question that you're asking, and what is the problem that you're trying to solve? So a very clear hypothesis for your project. We need to know your scientific rationale. So what is the background literature that makes you believe that this hypothesis is a valid avenue of investigation? So what is there in the literature to make you pursue this project? We will ask you to describe your methodology. So how are you going to address your hypothesis? We will ask you to outline your deliverables. So your deliverables that you outline in your application form might shift and might change as your project continues, which is the nature of basic research and the nature of the discovery. You might start the project and discover that what you had in mind is actually not possible, and you would like to go into a different avenue and a different direction based on what you discover along the way, which is completely fine, and we more than understand that. So in the application form, we will ask you to outline the deliverables and to foresee or predict into the future what do you expect to see. But if those deliverables change with time, that is completely fine. We will ask you to put together a timeline. So what do you expect to achieve? The award starts September 2022 and will end June 2023. So what do you expect to achieve in that year, and what's the timeline for your deliverables and your work? We'll ask you to take a look at risks and contingencies. Every single project is associated with a certain amount of risk. So we just want you to think ahead and try to anticipate what are some of the problems or some of the frictions that you might face, and what are the contingencies that you have available to you in order to address those risks. The next part is expertise and resources. So this is the section where you will be able to indicate who are the specialists that you would like to work with. Which specialists and which areas of expertise do you need support in, and what do you expect from that support? So if you expect to work with a machine learning engineer, what do you expect to see from that support? What kind of support and expertise, mentorship do you need? If you expect to work with a software developer, let us know what you're expecting from that. And that will allow us to evaluate if we have the right expertise to support you, and to make sure that we match you with the best expert for your specific project. The contribution to community is a short statement on the who cares or the why of your project. So how does this make an impact on the Princess Margaret community and on the bigger cancer research community? And lastly, an EDI statement. So that's equity, diversity, and inclusion. So how does your team or your project or you yourself support equity, diversity, and inclusion? This is a short statement, and we just want to make sure that you're cognizant of these kinds of pieces when you're doing your projects. The last section of the full application is your academic transcript. Please send an e-transcript or a PDF version of your transcript together with the full application. Do not send us paper copies. We are looking for a one-page CV. What you need from your CV is really to outline your accomplishments. So make sure to include the awards you've received, any publications you have, any presentations that you've done. So what is the impact that you've made on the scientific community? And if you have any kind of other professional experience, feel free to include that in your CV. And we also need a reference letter or a letter of support from your supervisor. A few key dates to keep in mind. So today is February 24th. We're at the information session. The applications open on March 1st. And actually the team has been working really hard, and we've been able to open up the application forms to you already. If you go on the website, you can actually see them already and start working on your registration and application form now. The registration form, we expect to receive that by March 14th, which is a Monday. And the full application will close April 15th, which is a Friday. We will start to announce our winners in mid-May, and the program will start in September. Again, please submit everything in PDF in a single email. So you can have multiple PDFs if you need to, but they need to come in a single email to pmcdi@uhn.ca. For more information, you have our website. You can visit that for any additional information you want, as well as this recording will be available for you there. We have our email. You can ask any specific questions you have for us through our email. There's checklists and forms available to you on our website. And if you would like our team to come and speak to your team, your department, or your lab, just email us. We'll be happy to come in for 5, 10, or 15 minutes and answer any specific question your team has for us. So there were a few questions coming in through the registration form that I wanted to address very specifically. We've addressed quite a few during the presentation, but there's 3 that I wanted to address directly, and then take any other questions you guys have through the Q&A portion of the presentation. So the 3 questions that I wanted to address specifically, I'll read the first 2, and Matteo will help us answer these 2. So the first one is eligibility, portion of research dependent on data analysis. What kind of data training, I guess, do you need as a trainee? And is this award only targeted towards those with advanced knowledge of data science and machine learning? What about those that are actually trying to get into this field and have projects that require them to learn these techniques?
Thank you, Sophia. So these 2 questions are nicely related. As Sophia mentioned, the idea of the program is to help researchers level up in their skills within data science or data analytics. So we aren't expecting you to come in with advanced knowledge of data science. However, this also is not a program that is meant to replace your basic data science courses. So some amount of coding experience in Python, R, or MATLAB, so the ability to, say, load in your data, some understanding of the basic functionalities of cleaning your data, understanding different software packages, and how you might be able to use them. Those are kind of the basics. We aren't here to help teach you those basics in software development or scripting. That should be your baseline knowledge, but you do not need to come in with detailed knowledge of random forests or convolutional neural nets. Those are the types of things that you can start working with your specialists and that we're hoping to teach you throughout the different sessions that you'll be exposed to through the duration of the award.
That's great. I'll cover the last question, and if anybody wants to expand or ask follow-up questions, Matea is available for that. The last question that I wanted to address directly is how can we best reflect on our deliverables in a widely nonlinear scientific process? For example, unexpected results that can change our path of a story / initially expected deliverables. So the nature of research is, of course, nonlinear, and the nature of discovery is, of course, nonlinear, and we more than understand that. With any kind of grant application that you do or any kind of project proposal that you do, you always need to anticipate what do you expect to see from your project. So whether the deliverables or milestones you expect to see within your journey on that project. So we would like you to outline those deliverables, but we in no way will keep you accountable for those specific deliverables if they need to change or evolve or morph. So if along the project you realize that your project needs to shift, we more than understand and we will support you in that. So I'll open up the floor for any other questions that you have. You can type them into the chat or you can unmute yourself and ask, and Matea and I we'll try to answer your questions.
Hello. Thank you for the presentation. I was just curious what you meant by basic science research, because that term can be a little loaded, or preclinical. So if you could give examples of projects or things that would fit and things that wouldn't fit, and maybe it could help us brainstorm better.
Sure. The best example I have is this kind of NSERC CIHR division. There's, of course, overlap between the two, but if you think about which granting agency would you typically apply for with your project, would you apply for NSERC or CIHR? So CIHR is more targeted towards patient care, more application-based research versus NSERC, which is more preclinical and basic discovery, which is what the Spark Award is meant to support. Matea, I don't know if you have any other ways to describe it.
I think I like your example of the NSERC versus CIHR. So Chris and I have worked together. So I think that if it's a project that is going to directly impact patient care right away, this isn't necessarily the award for that. But if it's more within the background and discovery, as Sophia mentioned, then I think it is an applicable project here. Chris, I know quite a few of the projects that you're working on, so if we want to kind of brainstorm and discuss which ones would be applicable or not, we can go into detail on that if you still have questions.
Oh, that's really helpful. Thank you.
There was also another question through the registration regarding international students. So international students are welcome to apply, both local and international. It's the same award amount for both postdoctoral fellows as well as PhD students. So it's $20,000 going towards your yearly salary. Okay, so we have a question in the chat. Are there restrictions on the number of awards you can hold? From our end, from CDI, no, we don't. If you have concurrent awards, if you already hold certain grants or awards, we will not penalize you, so you can receive this award. But I do believe some other granting agencies have some restrictions about how many awards you can have. So just double check with the other awards and grants that you're currently holding. But from our end, the answer is no. No restrictions. So we have hi, thanks for the information. Do genomics data analysis of cancer patients are within the scope of this award? I think we would need to learn a little bit more about your project and the deliverables you're hoping to achieve with the project to fully answer that. So when you submit your registration form, in your abstract, how you outline your abstract, if we see that you're leaning more towards the clinical field, we will let you know that you don't need to fill out the full application or that you need to modify how you're going to do your application. But right off the bat, I want to say yes, but we would need to have a bit more information. Okay. I think I remember reading this, that PIs can nominate only 2 trainees per lab group. Is that correct? The PI can nominate as many students as they want, but we will restrict the award to 1 trainee per lab. But keep in mind that a lot of the training sessions, the group training sessions, are available to the trainee and their lab as well. The only sessions that are restricted to the trainee alone are the one-on-ones with the specialists that are specific to the trainee and their project. All the other group sessions, so the group sessions with specialists, the educational webinars will be available to the whole lab. Okay, another question. How does that allotment work with co-supervision? That's a great question, Chris. We haven't actually thought about this. I think we'll have to go on a case-by-case basis. I don't have an answer for you for this one. All right, I think that's it. If there's any more questions that come in, we will answer those. And keep an eye on the recording on our website. And if you have other questions, don't hesitate to email us at pmcdi@uhn.ca. Thanks, everyone.